Infinite health is the type of cheat code that is fun for 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I'm bored. Like, I don't know.
All right. Well, Brendan.
Well, we're not here to talk about GTA.
We're not here to talk about Grand Theft Auto 5. We're here to talk about Hyper Light Drifter. So this is a game that came out earlier this year on PC and Mac. It was a Kickstarter from 2013 that was very successful, raised over $1 million, even though it had a small budget. You know, one of those indie darling Kickstarter success stories that then goes on to be delayed for years. So it's finally out.
Is there an exception to that happening?
Shovel Knight? I want to say...
Shovel Knight was Kickstarter?
Yes, Shovel Knight was Kickstarter. I want to say it hit its goal as far as like release date.
Wow. Not even normal games can hit the release date.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
looking at you,
sure.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, so I really like this game a lot. It's really good. So I have a 6 hour and 46 minute, so that's basically not 100% run through. Unfortunately, the save files don't give you a percentage of how much you've done, but once you actually load the game up, it will show you basically everything that you've collected so far, so that's helpful. And then I have a New Game Plus that I fooled around with a bit. So real quickly, New Game Plus, it basically is you keep your abilities that you've purchased from the main new game that you played the first time. However, it reduces your health to 2 slots. So instead of 5 slots, you now have 2 slots, which makes combat a lot harder because a lot of enemies, they can take you out with one hit.
It's already pretty difficult.
It is pretty difficult, yes. So I'm slowly making my way through New Game Plus because it is a lot more difficult. But it's also a lot of fun because the game itself is really good. So let's actually just do a new game and watch the first little vision you'll get as like an opening cutscene. We'll do Brendan. But I really like this game. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's really good.
Yeah, you seemed like initially when you were talking to me about it, you were like, yeah, it's good. Like, that's what you kept on saying. You're like, it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good. And when I watched it, I didn't really care about this game. In fact, like, I thought it was a racing game. That's how little I just heard, like, Hyper Light, and I thought it was like a Tron racing game or Tron-like racing game or something like that. But I saw it for a couple minutes. I'm like, this looks really interesting. Like, the combat looks pretty... like fun and addicting, and punishing in a way where it's like, yeah, when you die, it's your fault. Mm-hmm. And I really like the art style, so yes, I'm interested. This feels like a game that's going to be discounted though, so maybe I'll wait a little bit.
Maybe. It depends on. It's also supposed to come to Vita, which I have some reservations of because I don't know why, but I feel like it's not going to run super well on Vita, and this game needs to run well because of the combat.
Yeah, it has to be perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, it's nothing like a Mega Man game as far as I know, but
no, I can't beat Mega Man.
But it's similar to Mega Man in that, like, if there's any sort of delay, then that's not okay.
Yeah. So a lot of the storytelling in this game is a bit like this, not as not heavy-handed, but not as
dark,
obvious as this is.
Oh.
Because this is very obviously like, oh, here's a scene.
Are these the people who did Fez?
No, that's Bill Fish and his team at Polytron. Oh. This is a separate team. The graphics do share a bit with
and the sound.
Yeah, I think it. I want to say it is the same guy who does the soundtrack. I'm not 100% sure though. I could be very wrong.
I'll look it up.
But the soundtrack is very good. I've been listening to it as I've been trying to write the review for this.
So is the Fez soundtrack? I really love Fez, but I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I'm not good at Fez either. I tried.
I bring it up I pick it up every once in a while, and every time I pick it up, I'm just completely in love with it. And then I just kind of fall off of it. It's just there's something about that game.
Yeah, it's tough.
Polytron. Oh wait, no. Okay. I got it like mixed around.
Yeah, for the soundtrack, it starts with Disaster Piece. Okay, then yes, it is the same person who did the soundtrack for this. He's a popular indie game composer, but he's good.
That's one of my few useless skills that I have, Steven, is being able to hear a soundtrack and pick out who it is.
Okay, I see. This is the starting area. I mean, yeah.
So pretty!
Yeah, the game is really, really gorgeous. Like, I can't... It's hard to, like, understate how good it looks and how good it runs, because it's very smooth as well. So these are your health packs. So you have 5 slots of health. You can't... You don't ever increase the slots that you have. What you can do, though, is you can increase the amount of health packs you can carry. Oh. And that's, like, the only upgrade system. So it keeps you on your toes, because it's like, I'm not going to be able to abuse the upgrade system in such a way that I can just make the health go across the screen. So when I'm in a boss battle, all I have to do is just spam X, because, of course, I'm just going to win because I have so much health. So that helps, and it helps you, like, it helps force you to get better at combat. So, of course, you have, like, a dash, which at first you only have 3 dashes that you can do in succession. But you can get this chain dash ability, which basically lets you almost infinitely chain dashes together if you have enough skill, because there is a timing to it. And so far, I've been able to chain 120 dashes together.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Is there a trophy for that?
There is, yes. There's another trophy for chaining 800, which I don't think I can get.
All right.
But yeah, so there's a lot of like imagery. There's a lot of like this type of stuff where it's like destroyed or abandoned scenery all across the world, and it very much imbues a sense of like there's a history to this place. You're not quite sure what it is, and you kind of have to piece it together yourself. But I really like it.
I've always loved that type of like backdrop to a story, like in Mass Effect, where they had like the Prometheans or whatever they're called, the extinct race that died out like millions of years before like our like before Earth and all that. Like I just like that feeling of like there is a great civilization that great job.
I'm trying to trophy.
There is a civilization that stop.
There's a trophy. If you die in the first like vision area, there you go. See, okay. I forgot to get it the first
Sticking
time.
It to me.
I just needed to clean up a bit. Anyway.
Yeah, but I like that. It's like it's kind of at this point sort of old to do that, where it's like, oh, there's civilization before that crumbled, and now like you're wandering around and like,
oh yeah,
but like I really like it. Like I don't know.
When it's done well.
And Mass Effect did it really well. And then they also have, what's that game that everyone's really excited for that I'm kind of...
No Man's Sky?
No, I'm going to have to give you a little more than that. It's the one with the girl, the red hair. Yes.
How did you not remember that?
Because I'm not like... I'm not as excited as everyone else. It just looks like another like open world action, third-person action RPG.
Okay.
Like, I'll buy it, but...
Yeah. Combat in this is very basic. You have your 3-swing sword and then your gun. You can get more guns. You do not increase your combo with the sword. It's always the 3-swing. You can do different abilities. Like, there's one where if you hold down square, you'll, like, charge it and do, like, a big swing, and it's usually, like, a one-hit kill. That one's very helpful for boss fights. And then as far as the gun, what happens is it has an energy bar, and you increase the energy by just hitting things. So like by hitting these guys, I'm like recharging the gun and I can use it more. So that helps. And then also you can do it for breakable objects in the area too. It's not limited to just hitting enemies with your sword. It's hitting anything with your sword that's breakable. So like I said, there's like a lot of stuff like this where it's like, oh, here's just a giant robot that's like decaying. And it's kind of just exists.
Whoa! Oh, that's the thing you're talking about, how they kind of mess with your perspective a little.
Yeah, because there's some parts where it's like, oh, this stuff is in the way, because it's a top-down isometric perspective, so they can do that, because they can craft the world in such a way that it obscures your view, which helps with certain things, such as like secret areas, which I'll probably show a bit of once we get into the main game. This is basically like the tutorial area. We never return to this place. I think this is where it starts like wrapping up. Yeah, the game is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Like at any time you can sit down if you want, just to chill. Taking the sights. Yeah, I like how it does like the rotating. Like how it's like as you approach, it starts rotating the background into view.
Yeah.
It kind of like does that, and it can do that because of the whole.
Kind of like Uncharted or God of War.
Yeah, like where the camera like starts like panning back and like doing stuff.
And that's the last time this game will ever be compared to either of those games.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the closest relative to it in terms of game is Legend of Zelda, which the developers were very obvious about saying, hey, we really like Link to the Past and like games like that, so we're going to try and make a modern version.
Now, were Zelda games ever this dark?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, because they're a baby game for babies.
Yeah, sure.
Don't listen to me.
So this is a guy who appears every now and then in your journey. He saves you initially and kind of sets you up in his house. And then you...
So he's Obi-Wan?
Kinda. He doesn't... I mean, like I said, there's no dialogue in this game. So everyone talks to you in images and icons and stuff like that.
So like if they're surprised, it's like an exclamation point?
No, not even that. I'll show you once we get to walk around town.
Well, why can't you show me now?
Well, because there's nobody here to talk to.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to, like, you get map. So this is the map, and that's the whole world. So there are 4 major areas. The south area is blocked off until you complete the other 3. But you can complete the other 3 in a new order. So there's like the lake area, the mountain, snow area, and then the forest.
I see.
So pretty self-explanatory as far as that goes. And then this is like explaining to you, hey, you need to activate these things, which will then activate basically the main goal, I guess, which is activating this thing in the middle of the town. So you have to get 4 modules activated and then activate the pillar. And the pillar is always guarded by the boss of the level, or like the major area that you're in. So it's like kind of standard when it comes to that, but everything else about it is...
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, they weren't exactly trying to go out and, like, change everything.
Oh, no, they just wanted to do
like,
everything.
yeah, we love this game, we're gonna make one of those.
Yeah, they just wanted to do it really, really well. So, this is the, like, main goal. You have to unlock every part of this, and then you proceed to the final area and finish the game. But there are a lot of other things that you can do, too. So, like, here, that's it.
Wow, what?
And then sometimes this will happen where it's like, oh, this guy has, like, images.
So go... Oh.
That's it. And it's like, all right, that's his story. So, yeah, there's no dialogue at all. People only talk in that. You can talk to, like, shopkeepers, but they don't really talk to you. They more just, like, exist, and then you choose, oh, do you want to use that charge ability? Oh, well, you don't have money.
This guy, on the left here looks like something out of Newgrounds.
He's got a weird, like, he's like a mouse with David Bowie hair, I would say. And he's got a little dude here that, you know...
is really bad at fighting?
He's probably just chilling. Yeah.
Hey, so he's learning.
Cute animations. This is the area where you can practice the chain dash. I don't have enough money to buy it yet. But basically what you do is you chain your dashes together. I could probably show it on New Game Plus. And then as you do it, the little thing in the middle starts counting upwards, and you unlock this area for, I think, 100 chain dashes. And then for the 800 chain dashes, you unlock that area, which has a secret thing in it. So you get
a trophy and you get, like, more...
in-game stuff, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because there's things that you can upgrade your person with. You can change your outfit, which gives you passive abilities, but not a lot. And then, of course, this is your weapon abilities on the left, and then on the right is your, like, I guess, human abilities, or, like, your character abilities.
Okay.
Which is the chain dash, being able to, like, dash and block projectiles as you're dashing, which is really helpful. And then the bottom part is you get a bomb eventually, and then, of course, it shows your upgradable item packs. This is your money in the bottom right. And what happens is you'll sometimes come across these gold containers, or you'll just pick up gold after defeating a certain amount of enemies. Sometimes it feels a little randomized, other times it feels predetermined, but you have to collect 4 of those bits to create an actual piece of currency, and then you take the currency and purchase upgrades. And then, of course, with the guns, you have different guns that you pick up
on the
throughout
top
the world.
right in the pink.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can select, like, if I had another gun, like you have 6. So there's like a railgun and a shotgun. I haven't found the other 3, but I want to say there's a different type of shotgun, a full action rifle, and a rocket launcher. I want to say are the other ones. So, but that's it for like the main town. I usually by default go up north. Say hi to that guy.
This I would be shocked if these guys didn't love Fez too. Like just
I'm sure.
Even the character, like the animation we saw earlier of the guy throwing the sword and dropping it on the ground, it had a very similar charm to Fez.
Yeah.
And of course, like they got the musician or the composer to do the music too. So it seems like these guys are kind of wearing their influences on their sleeve.
Yes. So this little insignia there right next to his head is basically the marker that you can use throughout the entire game to tell when there's a secret area in your game. So there's an invisible thing which you wouldn't notice unless you saw that. And here, I'll pick up the money and it'll be like, oh hey, you got one of those.
That's really cool.
So this is a lot of the secret areas, like, oh, there's an invisible pathway that you won't know unless you are looking for it.
So wait, go down. Is that one?
No.
That's that one?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, it kind of looks like it, but it has to be that exact symbol.
Okay. So they kind of fuck with you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So these are like the main guys. Let me see if I can get them to...
Can we cuss? Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I didn't know. Is this like a DualShockers thing?
No.
Or? Okay.
Oh yes, I made them fall.
Nice.
So these are like the main, like very basic units of like, hey, this guy is kind of a sap. You can just kill him pretty easily. Sometimes... yeah, okay. So there's like health packs. It pays to explore, because you'll get enough money to get more upgrades, which helps you out, and you also get enough health packs to always have enough to like basically get out of any situation you need to. Like here's another one of those markers. So it's like there's another hidden area here. These
so they're the hidden spots, are they constantly there, or are they only there like when it's lighting up?
They are always there.
Oh, I see. So when okay.
Yeah, I want to say they're always there, unless, I mean, you either have to scan them, or actually just be on top of them, and then they'll highlight themselves.
That's cool.
Yeah, so as far as this thing, I guess just a pillar is what I would call it. I don't know what it does yet. I found a few of them over the course of playing the game, but I'm not 100% sure what they do. I'm not sure if they unlock something that I just haven't discovered yet, or if I need to find all of them in order to unlock something. But there's a lot of like learning to this game where it's like, when I first started, I knew nothing about this. I tried to avoid all like coverage because I knew it was coming to PS4 and I would play it then. So when it finally did come to PS4 and I got a review copy for it and started playing it, I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this. Like I'm like going through it, I'm like, oh, is this like, what is this? Is this something that I need to use? How do I use it? Is there like a better way to use it? Am I missing something? Stuff like that. And over the course of the game teaches you, and you by yourself kind of just start learning about all the mechanics that are inside of it. And by the end of the game, I was like, oh, I pretty much know almost everything I need to. If I just start New Game Plus, I could probably find a lot of stuff that I missed, which I did. Because there's a lot of stuff like, I think like that secret earlier that I found that I showed you where it led me to the pillars from the invisible platforms. I didn't discover that the first time because I didn't know that those markers, these little marker things, like were supposed to like guide you to a secret location. Maybe I'm not hitting it right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there's like a little bit there that was hidden. So you have to like always keep your eyes out for that type of stuff. And yeah, he kind of has like a thing. It's not ever really explained, but he has like an illness that's like slowly killing him. But you never really discover what it is or if something gave it to you. There's a lot of like doors like this where there's like keys and you have to find those icons that are in red right now. You have to find those throughout the world, and as you progress through the world you get more of them and you can unlock more doors which have secrets behind them, whether it be more gold or different equipment. These are basic enemies. You can't hit them unless they're driving at you, basically, but you can shoot them at any time. So I think we went that one. Oh, yeah. So I gotta shoot them at any time if I want. This is kind of like a beginner-ish area. With these guys, you have to kill them before, because they're like, every enemy seems to have like a tell, where it's like, oh, I'm about to attack. So some of them will be like a crow that will summon forth a purple like shadow of his spike that he's about to drill through you, which you can sidestep out of the way. These guys who I just killed, they basically will like rear themselves to about to jump and leap and like claw at you.
Oh, okay.
So if you get out of the way in time, you can avoid them and then hit them again. So like every enemy has a different tell. There's not a ton of enemies, so you're not going to get overwhelmed with having to learn them all. And it is fun to encounter a new type of enemy, learn its attack patterns, learn how to bait it, and then basically be able to just kill it pretty easily. So that was fun to do in the regular game. However, in New Game Plus, because you only have 2 health, it actually makes it a lot tougher. So yes, like I told you, I mentioned before, like there's like these giant
so cool.
Yeah,
it's like Xenoblade. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I haven't played Xenoblade. To me, it reminds me of Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, because there's a part in that movie where they talk about how before everything basically went to shit, there were these giant like creatures that were like war machines that were built basically to destroy everything. And as you're in Nausicaa, like they discover one, and it's like it's got this very imposing feel to it where everyone's like, oh, this thing could kill us all, like if we oops, I messed up, if we mess up. And these things also kind of have that, but you don't really ever encounter one that's alive. They only are in the background, and sometimes the world itself like bends around it, because it's like, oh, this giant thing is here, we're not gonna really get rid of it, instead we're just gonna build around it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Get out of here. Like there's like platforming sections like this that I'm not super good at. There we go. Okay.
That seems like something where it's like, well, is it you or is it the game? Sometimes it's hard to tell if the game is bad or if you're bad.
Oh, yeah, it can be. Let me get to this certain area. Yeah, the platforming sections have killed me more often in this than I think combat has. Just because timing's off and I haven't quite mastered the chain dash yet.
Like as far as its distance?
As far as like its distance and like everything else about it, as far as like, oh, this is the timing you have to have on it in order to actually chain it together. The speed increases as you're chaining it, and then it'll peak at a certain moment. So like you'll increase in speed, but then all of a sudden you'll peak at that speed, and you'll just be at that speed forever until you either fail or stop chain dashing. So yeah, so you kind of get like some idea of like things that are happening.
I like that though, because so we've been talking a lot about mystery in storytelling. I don't know, I just feel like that's come up a lot lately.
Those
where it's like
things and
yeah, and I feel like this is like what I always say is like whenever there's a reveal of like whatever the strange thing is happening, it's always disappointing when compared to what's in your head. But the fact that they're kind of leaving even the breadcrumbs that lead to like whatever the hell is going on, like the fact that they leave everything sort of abstract, like more of it takes place in your head than not.
Yes. Yeah, this game doesn't really, I don't think it truly has a reveal. It just kind of gives you more and more information through its world and through certain NPC actions that you can begin to interpret whatever you want to interpret. I think I need to write that. Yeah, I want to get to another section where it does that background thing of like the background moves in to frame. Yeah, So your dash can't move. It's not going to phase you through people. So when you get into group areas like this, it's actually better to hang back than to try and dash through them, because more than likely you're going to fail
and just get stuck in the middle and
then die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's easier to do that. But each area is mostly the same. Not as far as like aesthetic, because of course they change up the aesthetic for every area you go to. This is of course the Snowy Mountain with these like weird bird guys that are hanging out. And then other areas are like a lake, and it's very colorful, and they have these frogs that throw ninja stars at you, which is funny, because I've never really seen that before. It's like frogs with like that like stereotypical samurai hat, and they're just like throwing ninja stars at you, which you can reflect back at them if you get the upgrade for it.
Of course.
Which is a really good upgrade, actually.
God, I really love this music.
Yeah, it's very subtle. It's never really going to get in the way of what's happening or distract you from what's happening. It will sometimes crescendo, but never in such a way that it will like avert your attention. It finds the right time to do that. Yeah, so I activated the teleporter now. So if I wanted to, I could just go back home, buy an upgrade, and then come back here. However, the teleporter will only ever be in one area. So say I need to get down to like this place to find a module. I can teleport back there, but if I'm like here and I teleport home, I can only teleport back here and I have to go through that again.
Huh.
So sometimes it's better to like, as soon as you get to the teleporter, either go back and get stuff you want or just continue onward. So you don't really want to, because there's like some backtracking that can be annoying, but only if you choose to teleport back to the house or like your home and upgrade from the shops. But other than that, you can actually pretty much get through it relatively easy. Because I was reading like, oh, the How Long to Beat, which is a great website for like, oh, how long is it going to take me to complete this game?
I just found that out.
Oh yeah,
I found that website like a week ago.
Yeah, it's really good. Like it was like 8 to 10 hours for like completing this game, and I beat it in like less than 7. And I was like, oh, that's weird. But I think it's because more people were, I don't want to say taking their time, because I took my time with it. I think more.
But
people...
you are reviewing it. You need to finish it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I stayed up until 2 o'clock. But even though I'm reviewing it, I'm not exactly gonna
Look
say
at that.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I wanted to show. It's like it's really good at doing this, and like the music will like start kind of maybe picking up a little bit. No, oh, okay.
I think maybe.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, you can just sit and chill. Taking the sights. Yeah, it's really good. And then these are like your elevators into the underground dungeons. They're not dungeons in like a Zelda where it's like there's a set pattern. It's more like a dungeon where it's like, oh, here's an underground area, and then you're gonna get to the other side, and either it'll loop back around to the beginning, or it will bring you up into a new area you haven't explored of the above ground. I like that. We'll play a little more and then wrap up. There's another gold bit. So keeping an eye out for like these symbols is pretty key. These are the annoying things where it's like they disappear after a bit.
Yeah, the first time I saw you playing that game, that's all I saw happening to you. Was you just walk like 5 feet and then fall to your death. I'm like, this game looks great.
Yeah, it was a bit annoying at that part. It was also because I didn't have the dash or the chain dash. If I had the chain dash, it would have made it a lot easier. If I was able to time the dashes right. Because right now I can't really chain them. I can only use them a second after I use it. Because with the chain dash, it's pretty much instant. Yeah. So I tried to heal, but healing takes a second or two to complete the animation. So if you get hit in the middle of the animation, you are screwed. So either you, as people say, get good, or you get away enough that you can use it safely. it's pretty tough right now because I'm so used to being able to reflect.
Oh. Oh, what the...
Yeah, it's easier when they're alone, because you can just sidestep their attack pretty easily.
So is that a little knobby you got there?
Yeah, kind of. Less annoying. It doesn't really do anything except that, if you want it to.
Okay.
It never shows up and like goes like, "Hey, listen to me. I have things for you." It'll alert you when you need to heal. It's like, "Oh hey, you have 2 health. You should probably heal."
That's cool.
Which is good. It's basically like the excuse for like, "Oh, I need to scan this door and open it," and it'll go up to the door. You hold triangle, and then it'll fill up the bar, and that's it. So it's like it's more of a tool. It's not really like an active character. Which is good because active characters can be super annoying. Like Navi.
Or Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie's fine.
Yeah, no, she's great. She saves my life all the fucking time. I found out, I'm gonna keep it brief. I found out in The Last of Us, I played it on normal for the first time because I went from hard from the first playthrough. That she saves your life so much more, like when you're kind of back against the wall, like if someone's pushing you against the wall and just beating you, she like stabs people and kills people a whole lot more.
Huh.
I like that they kind of, they don't just like make the enemies with more health as the game gets more difficult. Or like whatever. Anyway.
You gotta get good.
Yeah.
Let's see what's in this next room, then we'll wrap up.
So, does DualShockers assign review scores
What do you mean?
for reviews?
What do you mean assign review scores? Like
Assigns. Like, are you going to put a number to this score?
Oh, yes. I put a number to it. The editor reads it. If they believe that the text of the review matches the score that I've already given it, then they'll just go ahead and publish it. If they have questions, of course, they'll ask me stuff of like, hey, you gave this game like a 7, but your text really makes it sound like a 6. Like, is there anything you want to add or like defend as far as like your score goes, stuff like that. Yeah, is there like any?
So, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking 9.
Huh.
I really like it. There's not a lot that I have to complain with it. Like, the only thing I can complain is the loading time sometimes is a bit weird when you die, especially with boss fights, because it's like, okay, I want to get back into the boss fight. I need to like get back into this and kill him. However, when you respawn, sometimes the game will like have a small little animation of like you getting up from the ground, and it can just be a little annoying because it's like I don't want to watch this. I want to get up and dash back into the fray. So that can be a little annoying, and you can't disable it. You can't disable it at all. So that sucks. Other than that, there's no real complaints that I have. And like as I was getting my outline for the review, like it was just like everything that I was like, okay, when I come back to this paragraph, I want to add this. It was all like positive stuff. Like there's nothing negative that I can really think of that is a problem with this game.
Is this the best game you've reviewed? Besides Trans...
Well, I didn't review
Technomancer.
No, I didn't review... As far as for DualShockers, yes, it might be. I'm trying to remember what I gave the Park. I think I gave the Park an 8. and that was pretty high.
Oh, is that horror game?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, I still think that is a really good game.
Oh man, I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, no. This is the best game I've played, or at least one of the best games I've played this year. Because I can't. I mean, Uncharted 4 is great. I really, really liked that game when I played it. I feel like I should go back and play it again. But other than that, there haven't been a lot of standouts this year, and this game is definitely a standout for me. I think it's really good. I think a lot of people, like, I think you should definitely give it a try. Because it is, like, a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's Hyper Light Drifter.
Okay.
It's really good. You try it out. It's on PS4, Xbox One, it's on PC and Mac. It's coming to Vita, who knows when. Just like any
or
other,
if that's even true.
Or if that's even true. They said it's coming. TBA. We'll see. I feel like if it comes to Vita and it works great, awesome. However, I have doubts where I'm like, I just don't think they're going to be able to optimize it well enough. Because, like, remember Axiom Verge, how that took a year to come to the Vita?
Yeah.
It was because of memory problems with the Vita.
Right, yeah.
If they couldn't get a 2D Metroidvania ported to the Vita very well because of that, this game, I think, is so much more complex.
But Steven, they got Borderlands 2.
Yeah, they did. It runs real great. It looks really
a solid 13 frames a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little worried about, like, the Vita version of this. Hopefully it's great.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it on Vita anyway.
Some people are. Like, when I've been tweeting about
it looks like it could be a Vita game.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a avid player of the Vita, often I would think about, oh man, Hyper Light Drifter is going to be great when it comes to Vita. Now that I don't really play my Vita that often anymore, I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I mean, technically it's a Vita game because you can play it on remote play, but... Alright, you can follow me on Twitter at @8axel.
Fuck you, Steven.
You can follow Brendan at Telescope Eyes. You can follow all the dumb stuff we do at Illustrious Magic.
Yeah.
Goodbye.